Tour Guides. I'm Carrie.
I'm Catherine.
And I'm Bree.
Today we are taking you on a tour of Denver. The only time I've ever been to Colorado was for my bachelorette. Catherine was there with me, and
There was.
We went to South Fork. So
We went horseback riding.
And we went to the hot springs, and we got super drunk. Poor friends of ours got really drunk.
I invented a drink called hydration stations.
I legitimately thought about bringing stuff for it because it was half and half vodka and Gatorade.
Colin can pick up some Gatorade for us so we can make it. I have vodka in there.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was like, oh man, we gotta stay hydrated, guys. Like, elevation. And so
we bought a shit ton of Gatorade as soon as we got there.
And my compromise was to mix vodka and Gatorade.
And one of my other bridesmaids brought a handle and a half. It was a huge bottle of vodka. And we almost finished the bottle that night.
And there was 5 of us?
Yeah.
Oops.
Because it was me, 3 of the 4 bridesmaids, because one of them just couldn't fly in, and then one non-bridesmaid who should have been a bridesmaid, but she was my next one in line.
It was.
It was intense.
It was really fun, but hydration stations, man.
Oh, man. And we drove down to the giant ass fork. It's not in South Fork, because South Fork refers to the river. I can't remember where we drove down to, but there was a big ass fork in the middle of town, and it was raining.
I don't remember that at all.
Really?
Nope.
I would like the listeners to know, so Catherine gets shit-faced, right? But this bitch doesn't get hungover. So when she
We were
talks
just
about...
driving, though. This was in just real life.
No, I know.
I just don't remember it.
No, but I'm just saying, you were...
Oh, yeah, I was out the next morning making breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you told me the story, and I'm like, I've seen it happen other times, and, this is unfair. So when she talks about getting shit-faced, she actually gets shit-faced, but then she doesn't experience the fucking repercussions like everybody else.
I don't know. Last time...
My poor friend, she was rough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was...
Sorry, friend.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to say anything to respect your privacy, but...
You know who you are. And another friend made penis-shaped cakes, but she made red velvet cake.
It was a red velvet penis-shaped cake.
Terrifying looking.
Yep.
But they weren't gluten-free, so... No, I didn't eat the bloody penis.
They did not have gluten-free red velvet cake at Walmart.
They did not, but I didn't. It was a good trip. And then we I go to Colorado a lot.
Yeah,
it's something my family really enjoys. My mom is super outdoorsy, and the rest of us enjoy it. I especially love the weather. If I could sit next to a river or in Colorado.
Man, those hot springs.
I love them.
Take me back there.
And with my RA, they literally help so much.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'd go into the river and it'd be really cold, and so it helped, and it was a wonderful day.
I want to go back
just
for the hot springs.
I literally just want to do a hot springs tour. I loved it. But
Can we do that? Can we make that a thing?
They're closed because I tried to go this summer. Because they were much stricter there.
Yeah. And
Colin's uncle owns a shop in Grand Lake, Bob Smith's, if anyone goes. It's really cute, and they sell Indian jewelry that he buys from reservations, and he goes and personally picks them out, and he has jewelry makers who he has worked with for years and years and years.
Yeah, Catherine got me ghost beads while she was there.
I did, and I got...
And they're purple.
I got you ghost beads, and what did I get you?
Dream catcher.
A dream catcher, yeah.
Mavis just opened the door.
She can turn doorknobs now? We have learned.
Oh.
From Philly, I remember editing that.
My cat can open up doors now, so just get ready for that. Yeah, but I love Colorado. I go pretty frequently, and we go to the mountains, we go to the lakes, we go all over the place.
Oh, I want to go back so bad.
Because we'll drive.
Yeah.
And we went this summer, and we stayed in a pretty remote... Here it comes. There it is. We stayed in a pretty remote cabin, and it was beautiful, and my family went, and Colin has a dear, one of his best friends lives there with her fiance.
I miss
right
them.
now. I know. And so, hey Lexi, hey Lily. And so they are hopefully going to be coming back.
Yeah.
I know Lexi, because Lexi's one of Colin's groomsmen.
Yeah.
But Lily, we don't know, because she's a nurse, but they may be going to Hawaii with my sister.
Aww.
So... Yeah, so that'll be nice. They'll have some friends there,
Yeah.
but so we actually just went and stayed with them in Denver recently too.
Oh, I've never been in Denver.
Colorado in general?
Nope.
Cool.
It's gorgeous.
As I was writing this, I was like, why the fuck have I never been here? It's literally in my notes. I'm like, why have I never been here? I want to move here. I love this.
It looks like the Scottish Highlands, only bigger.
Oh my god! So, as I was writing my notes, I was like, I've never been here, and I love this place second only to the fucking Scottish Highlands. Yep. Like, literally.
No, it has that kind of, like, majesty to it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love driving out there, just because it was... Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
I can't. I have to take anxiety meds and close my eyes when I drive. Like on the mountains, like we did the Rocky Mountain National Park Pass.
Oh yeah.
And I literally couldn't look out the window.
Yeah.
Like, because there were some parts that I literally could not look out the window. Mm-hmm. I could walk anywhere there, but in the car makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But I love the hummingbirds there. Like, so I love hummingbirds. I have a tattoo of a hummingbird. It's like a really important family thing, and they scream. The hummingbirds there literally scream, and they'll, like, dive bomb you, and I think it's so funny.
Catherine's like, I love these violent little fucking birds.
No, I got charged by an elk there this last time, too.
Yeah.
I was trying to take a picture of him, and he got real pissed. And it was just, like, a warning charge, but, like, it was a charge. Like, my dad saw it, and I ran. He's like, normally you make this stuff up. I'm like, I never make it up, first of all. He's like, but that elk really did charge you. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I don't make this stuff up. I just live a strange life.
Yeah, it happens.
This is how we fucking connected. I forgot about that. Because we have weird-ass animal and other experiences.
I was chased by a bear when I was in New Mexico.
I had a coral snake slither over my foot in Mexico. It's hella poisonous.
I don't do snakes at all.
And I got chased by crabs in Costa Rica.
Oh yeah, you told me. She got stranded in her room.
Yeah, in the theater room. And my sister and I literally hopped across the backs of the fucking theater chairs and, like, leapt into the hallway and then ran up the stairs. And we're like, Dad, because we thought it was a tarantula because it was like shadowy because it was a theater room, and it was like this fucking big. It was like damn near softball size, and it's just like a shadowy little crittery.
Remember that
shadow
when we were in Costa Rica together? That cockroach that I wouldn't let you kill.
Yes,
it was literally the same.
It fucking screamed at me.
They're like the
and
talking
tried
one,
to attack.
and he said, and Bree said, no.
You still have that video?
I have a video. I'll see if I find it.
You hear me go, oh, fuck no!
But I didn't want her to kill him. And she
wouldn't let me, and she wouldn't get it out of the room.
He was like,
this motherfucker posted up.
He said, he was aggressive.
Oh, so I told y'all about the cockroach whenever we came back to school. Yeah, so he like attacked my face.
Oh my god!
And then he was on the wall, and he was just like cleaning his little antennae, and I was like, "You little shit! I am going to kill you one way or other. I'm not going to squish you on the wall because I just painted the walls and they'd be really mad." So I went and found Raid. First off, he did. However, before he died, I moved like my bags that were underneath the spot where he was out of the way, so that way he wouldn't just like fall dead into my bags. No, he dive bombed over a foot into my open bag of music. And
he said, "Kamikaze!"
Yeah, and so of
course,
course,
if I go down, I'm taking you with me.
Yeah, so he was like squirming all around, like climbing over all this stuff, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" He's gonna die in my music, and so I dumped everything out just to make sure he was out of there because he was still like wiggling around and crawling around, even though he was just shot with Raid.
Okay, I have one more animal story that's worth telling, and then we'll move on. So, I teach at a very big school, like massive school, and
it's literally the size of my community college that I went to.
Yeah, it's huge. And so we have some rodent problems, which is pretty common, especially when it rains a lot, because they come in and eat all the food that all the gross high schoolers leave places. And so we get like rats that, and like nothing really bothers me. Like I'm not like afraid. That cockroach had me for a loop, but he was just too big for me to step on. And like the crunch would have thrown me, it would have been gross. Anyways, it's like the sound, like I could never. Anyways, we have these giant rats that would live in the ceiling. And this was the year before I started teaching there, but it's also the school that I graduated from. And so, I knew, like I was involved in the story.
Yeah.
There was a snake that was living in the ceiling.
Hell is a motherfucking no.
This happened twice. Was living in the ceiling because there's so many rats. And so it was kind of a good thing. So he was eating all the rats that were in the ceiling. But he got so fat.
Oh my god.
He got so fat because he was eating so much he fell through the ceiling of the band's hall. And all the kids went, ah! He was just giant. He wasn't poisonous, but he was literally like 5 or 6 feet long.
Good
and
God.
It was a
fat.
probably Texas rat snake.
Yeah, and he
my God.
Which is what
fell
they're good at.
through the roof and landed on the floor of the band hall, and everyone was like, ah! And he was just like, because he got so fat from eating all the rats, and everyone was like, what do we do? It's raining snakes. It was, and then one time,
Oh, these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
and then one in the Fine Arts hallway, which is like, you know, where I am, because it has a lot of entrances.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many there. But he was long enough that his butt was still up, stuck in the ceiling, and his head was down on the ground, and he was like swinging around. Because he was
Oh my God, I literally would have pissed myself where I stood.
Kids were screaming.
Oh, yeah.
There's videos, and it's absolute chaos because everyone all of a sudden is just like, it's like a
Yeah.
nightmare.
So, you know what snakes make me want to do?
Drink.
You know what Mavis is doing to my
Right.
water right now?
Drink.
She really likes the fridge water too. She's so bougie.
Yeah. So, Mavis, that's mine.
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
Bitch.
Over
here.
She literally, like,
Post
up and
up.
down you right now.
Post up. Off you go.
She like it.
Maybe.
Now she sulks away. Okay.
So I moved, and we're still recording on my bed because our office isn't set up because my table's broken. But
One day we'll
Soon.
get back to our.
soon.
Yes.
All right. So we drinking.
I'm in drinking.
So we are drinking wine from Infinite Monkey Theorem. So,
Sounds like a band.
well, the Infinite Monkey Theorem states that a monkey hitting keys at random on a typewriter for an infinite amount of time will almost surely type a given text, such as the complete works of William Shakespeare. I've heard this growing up all the time, and so I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, they have a winery now. But this winery is not only based out of Denver, Colorado, but also Austin, Texas.
Hey.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they source their grapes from both the western slope of Colorado and the high plains of Texas. I mentioned the high plains of Texas because that's where Lubbock is. Recum Tech had to squeeze that in there. But I also went to the Austin location on my mini moon after I got married.
Aw.
Oh, I guess when this comes out, it'll be just over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we got to go down there. We were pretty much the only people there. And so it was, it was super chill. So we got to taste some wines
I'm in drinking.
and drink.
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 That's what I was trying to say earlier. All I could remember was drink.
I love that Vine. It was like the super nerdy lady,
Uh-huh.
and she's drinking out of her water bottle when she does it, and she's like staring off into space. What an icon!
What an
Yeah.
icon.
That's me at work.
Yeah.
With water, not wine.
Nope, just wine today.
So they call themselves an urban winery because they don't source from their own vineyards. They source from other vineyards, which isn't uncommon now.
Sure.
Because now there are like family-owned vineyards that produce so much that they sell out to
and then you can do
wineries.
blends and yeah.
And then you can blend from different places, different varietals that you may not be able to. And so they use, obviously, Colorado and Texas plains to source their grapes from.
Awesome.
Yeah. Other grapes produced in Colorado are pretty even across the board. Cabernet Sauvignon is number one, because Cab Sauv is king. Closely followed by Merlot, which we will be trying later. And also, since I've already covered Merlot, I'm not going to cover it again right now.
Sure.
But we'll do a nice little tasting when we do it later. When we crack it open.
Cool.
A little crack. Viognier is settled in at number 7, and it's the first wine we're trying today. Back in the 1960s, Viognier wasn't really popular. There were only 35 acres in the whole world. However, in the 1970s, it had a resurgence that allowed it to blossom into the luscious wine that we're having today. Viognier is one of my absolute favorites, just like of wine in general, but it is my number one favorite white wine. Like, if I have a choice of just drinking wine, Viognier all day. Hey-o.
Oh, also my drag king name is Landon Viognier.
It sounds bougie enough.
Yeah, that's my drag king name.
Yeah. But it's a white grape that originated in the Languedoc region of southern France. I don't know if I said that right.
That sounds right.
Sure. But it's also largely grown in the northern Rhone region. From there, it quickly spread. Some other notable spots are California and Australia, but Texas has a really good Viognier growing climate. Because Viognier likes warm climates with long growing seasons. So
There you go.
Texas.
warm all the fucking time. Winter isn't a thing.
It was 70 degrees today, and I said, oh, maybe I should bring a sweater. And I said...
70 where? I was sweating my ass
my
off.
Philly
this morning
heart told me I was disrespecting my ancestors.
Oh yeah, I brought out my like October sweater, and it's only September, and I was like, oh, you know, it's cool enough I can wear my fall things.
I'm waiting. Like, I literally painted my nails and toenails fall. I
saw
saw
your pumpkin
yours!
colored
And
nails.
my toenails are red, and I'm like, come on, fall, bring it on, bitches.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Viognier is known to have unpredictable yields due to its susceptibility to powdery mildew.
Ew.
And so France got hit.
So there's like seasons where you don't have Viogniers.
Yeah. It does have the capability of delivering a Chardonnay-esque richness, but rather than limited apple profile, you get like peach and apricot and honeysuckle. So it's a little different flavor profile. You can also get some flavors like tangerine and rose.
Interesting.
Viognier is generally kept pure in production, but can be used sometimes with blending like Roussanne, Marsanne, and Grenache Blanc. Part of the reason why I love Viognier is you can get a really good bottle for pretty cheap.
Don't mind my husband talking in the other room.
Yeah, because Mavis opened the door.
The cat opened the door, and if I were to yell at him to stop talking, he wouldn't hear me. So.
No. Okay, I'm gonna go close this damn door.
He's probably gonna bring us our drinks.
I've been drinking.
He said no.
Daddy, I want you.
Your latch doesn't close.
Na, na.
Mavis, you little shit.
She's
She's like, I know the latch doesn't close.
I feel like I'm in teacher mode right now.
Hold up.
I keep my eyes on my daddy, I want you. Na, na.
Our setup.
Right.
Because I had one hand, so I couldn't zoom. So it's like everything.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's okay.
So we have a picture to commemorate that moment.
Guys, like, we care about you. If we do this week after week and all of the shenanigans that we get into.
Yeah. Just ignore the lapse of last week.
It happens. We got busy. Anyway, okay, what was I saying?
Grenache Blanc. Are we past that?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I know this.
I tried. Damn it.
I was talking about how it's one of my favorites because it's relatively cheap.
Oh, that.
Oh,
Now,
always.
there is a misconception that cheap wine is bad because a lot of white wine is cheaper than red wine because you don't have to age it. Mm-hmm. Now, Viognier is unique, like a Chardonnay, where you can age it in oak barrels.
As Leslie calls it.
Shardy.
God, Leslie.
I heard her call it that last weekend, and I was like,
Shardy.
Leslie.
She does it unironically.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really similar to that Chardonnay where you can age it in oak, and it does bring out some different flavors. Like if you age Viognier, it brings out like a tropical mango-y kind of flavor.
Ooh.
But those are also more expensive.
Well,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. But you can typically
You gotta
get
pay your people.
right. You know, pay to store it and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so you can get a good bottle for like $20.
I'm down.
Yeah.
You're girl cheap.
Yeah. But also, Viognier has a tendency to be higher in ABV, which is the alcohol content. And so, like, average for whites is 13.5, which is where these tend to start. Mm-hmm. And they tend to go up to like 15%. I'm looking at you, California, because...
Talk to mama.
Yeah, so...
There's a local winery that they have an albino and Viognier.
Albarino?
It's spelled albino and Viognier blend.
I think it's Albarino. Spanish wine. If it's Eaton
It
Hill.
doesn't have an Enye. It still could be pronounced that way.
Yeah.
But it's not an Enye.
Okay. So that's the grape?
It's very possible.
Yeah.
But I think the bottle, because I noticed that it was different, because
Yeah.
one for our wedding is an albino,
Okay.
too. But that could just be like the Texas version of...
Like the Shiraz Syrah.
Yeah.
Shiraz. Sorry, I missed
Yeah.
that Z.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
It's a good blend.
Well, speaking of Syrah Shiraz, fun fact straight from the Wine Searcher website, DNA profiling, heyo,
Oh my god.
shows that Viognier has a parent-sibling relationship with the
Crossover.
ancient Mondeuse variety, which means that it is either a grandparent or half-sibling of Syrah.
Grandparent or half sibling. I need those genetics explained to me.
Right.
Because AP Bio was hard, guys.
She's from Tennessee.
Arkansas.
Kentucky.
I was like, get it fucking right. I'm Kentuckian.
I didn't know.
Pick one of those.
I didn't
states.
know we
They're
were
all
talking
the
about
same.
Harry. I could have told you. I was
My
like,
parents aren't
Arkansas.
cousins.
Or Arkansas or Alabama. Sorry, yeah, Kentucky. You go, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if you're from the South. I'm a Yankee, and it's just in my nature to make fun of it.
You're not a Yankee.
Okay, but anything north of the Mason-Dixon line is considered a Yankee by most, like, diehard Southerners. I'm a Midwesterner, admittedly.
Yikes. I don't know which is worse.
I was about to say, you're digging
We
yourself
grow
in
all your food, you bitches!
Also, I'm a Texan, thank you. Okay. I did not marry my cousin.
Ooh, Zach, you got some secrets there?
I mean, his cousins are redheads too, so. Anyway, love y'all. So, continuing on with the quote from Wine Searcher, because we just went off on a tangent.
Guys, it's been a really rough week for us, so we're just happy we get to talk to adults.
I'm gonna hate this edit so much. I'm about to cry.
Anyway, okay, continuing on with the quote from Wine Searcher. Research at the University of California has also suggested a genetic link between Viognier and the Piedmont variety Frisia, which...
Like the flower?
Yes. Which would also make it a relative of Nebbiolo, which is another wine that I like.
Areola?
Bologna Barbo?
I'm really glad that we made that fun, because I was afraid that we were about to put all of our listeners to sleep with my fun facts about grape genetics.
I'm sorry. I can't. I'm trying to shut up. I really am.
My friend
Anyway.
has a friend whose dog is named Aioli because they love to cook, and she always calls her Areola. She said, I can't, I'm pet watching Areola
I
tonight.
would like to point out that I made that comment quietly so that the listeners probably couldn't hear it, but I mean...
Fucking Mavis.
Look at her, she looked at the door like, who did that?
What? Oh my gosh.
It's so weird.
It was you.
Okay, so we can wrap this up. Viognier pairs well with aromatic herbs and citrus. Some dishes include Asian dishes or delicate curries, and smoked salmon or lemon chicken.
Oh, I love lemon chicken.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
I
one of my
also love
favorites.
curries and
Yes.
many varieties of Asian food.
Hence why I love Viognier, because I love all of those things.
Yeah. I need to try to make salmon. I've never made it before.
What?
I've never.
It's
I'm
like a
nervous.
weekly thing for me.
I'm
Colin
nervous
loves
about
salmon.
it.
I hate seafood, so.
So my thing is, I had really bad experiences with fish when I was little, and so outside of sushi, which I know this is the weird thing, outside of sushi, I usually don't fuck with fish because I can see what's in sushi.
Yeah.
I never find bones, but I always found bones and everything else I ate that was fish when I was younger.
Yeah.
So on Imperfect, they keep having like, oh, salmon, and I really want
their
to.
salmon doesn't have bones, because I keep getting it.
Yeah.
Or you
I don't know how
actually
to
can't
cook it
hold mine.
though because I've never.
I can help you.
It's. I've cooked a cedar plank salmon once for my parents for something.
Yeah.
But my autistic self cannot handle the texture of any seafood. I can't, and it's not the flavor. I have tried seafood dishes that are delicious, and I cannot eat them because my whole body is no.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. But it looks very beautiful.
Yeah.
You had it at your wedding. Colin really liked it.
Yeah.
Salmon.
It was really good, because I think that's what I got, and Zach got the chicken.
I got the chicken. It was good.
Yeah.
Well,
So it was so good.
Speaking of dinner,
Hey-o.
so I made green chili, which is used mostly as a sauce, and it's basically green chilies, onions, garlic, some tomatoes, and you blend it all up. And you normally do cubed pork in it, but I did ground pork, and we put it over cheese enchiladas, and it was delicious.
It was really good.
And then we just had rice on the side, and I made brownies. Just
Hey-o.
regular brownies. But I thought it would have been a funny bit. So I made just regular brownies, and I did white
Regular
chocolate.
brownies, wink, wink.
They were regular brownies.
Okay, they really were though.
They
And
were,
they're
but they
really-
had a special ingredient in them.
Yeah, white chocolate chips. I put white chocolate chips to represent the snow of Colorado.
That's
How
so
cute.
They were pretty good, too, for gluten-free brownies.
They were.
Yeah.
They're that word I don't say that makes me want to puke.
I'm not going to say it. Don't
Damp.
look at me.
Damp is better than the M word.
But damp
M
brownies.
M is in Mary, not N is in Nancy.
No.
Just to specify.
Oh my gosh.
I said
Moist.
the M word. Like,
But
I
they were some damn good
literally, my gag reflex every
Yeah.
time someone says that
Okay,
word.
but they were.
They were.
They were tasty.
They were
They were fudgy.
They were
boom.
Yum.
Way around that word.
Yeah.
They were fudgy. But it was really good. And green chilies are really common in New Mexico. And this is like a Colorado take because wild game is really popular from like prospector days. That was something that would have
Don't
been
talk about that.
would have been something
Just a little
like wild game would have been something that's like part of Colorado tradition, and they have restaurants that are still like solely wild game. Which is really cool, but it's not super easy to find in Texas.
Yeah.
Like, I was going to do bison, which we do have, but they didn't have it at Trader Joe's, so
bison.
I didn't. So, what did the buffalo say to his son as he left for college?
Buffaloes are dead.
Damn, Karen! Shit! So it's
sad.
Buffalo Bill. We gonna talk about him too. Not that Buffalo Bill. We literally just talked about him too.
It's the only one I care about.
Insert slurping noises. We shit show.
Anyway.
Oh my god, sorry. It just like popped into my head and I had to share this. So, we did like the slurping noise. And, it reminded me, so I use this mic at work and my kids are like, so what's its name? And I was like, I need to think of like an appropriate way to explain that his name is John Collins because of a cocktail. And so I was like, his name is John. I use it for like my personal life, so please like don't touch it, don't do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm about to go record awkward sex talk with this. This is fine. Sorry, children. But no, these are my like innocent baby 6th graders, and they're like, "What's its name?" Because I was like, "Oh yeah, this is my baby. Like, you don't touch it. What's your baby's name?" I was like, first off, I couldn't remember it, so I had to look it up, and I was like, "What was my?"
I had to look it up.
Well, it's in our text messages, and so
oh my god, you went really far back.
I did.
I'm like, fuck that. I'd give up after about 2 weeks.
I would have just been like, Paul.
Paul. What the fuck?
Well, I knew. Okay, well, I thought I was more clever with it, so I'm like, he might get renamed because I thought it was a she at first because she's sassy.
Yeah.
My sassy little red microphone. And then I was like, I named it John after our London episode.
To grandmother's house.
Can you name it after one of Meryl Streep's eyebrows in that movie? That was the first thing I thought when I saw that movie. I said, holy shit, Meryl Streep's eyebrows are terrifying.
Right.
Like, they're alive.
They are alive. Those fucking, like, non-living characters, like we talked about in Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
Davy Diggs' hair when he's Jefferson. And fucking Jonathan Groff's, like, spittle.
And oh no. You should see my nectarines.
Oh my god.
I saw a meme and it was like, when I said I wanted life to be more like a musical, I didn't mean Act 2 of Into the Woods.
Yeah.
And I was like, 2020.
For
Into the Woods, grandmother's house and home before dark. Squish.
Squish.
Right now.
Where were we?
I just finished talking about pork taco things.
Yeah.
Enchiladas.
Oh.
It's your turn.
Oh.
Is it? I interrupted you.
I know. I thought you were still going.
Oh, it was very good.
was good.
I was like, I couldn't find anything else to do for Denver. And my dad was like, a Denver omelet? And I was like, you know what, Joe? I don't need this kind of attitude.
Sassy Joe.
He like looked at me and he was like, a Denver omelet? And that's all he said. And I was like, you know what?
He's so sassy without saying barely anything.
I said, Dad, I spent a long
love
time
it.
researching. And then he talked about my case with me as he hung my TV on the wall.
Your father.
Yeah.
He's a fucking gem, man.
He is.
All right.
It's your turn.
Okay. Okay.
Let's talk history.
Let's do that thing. All right, so I'm doing history a little bit differently today. Denver's a baby. Oh, sorry. Denver's a baby. I should probably get closer to the microphone. Duck into the microphone.
All I want to do is get a little closer.
Okay. I feel like I should boob shimmy to that.
It's
but
Chrissy and Teigen, I think. Chrissy? No, that's not a thing.
Nope.
No.
Guys, I'm so tired.
Chrissy Teigen is a person.
Yeah, Sarah and Teigen.
Oh.
Chrissy Teigen, if you ever listen to this, like, please give us a shout
Chrissy
out.
Teigen would love us.
Right?
I love her.
Chrissy, girl.
Can we tweet at her and be
Yeah.
like, Chrissy, love us?
She probably would. She's a really nice lady.
I know.
I don't know
Remind
her.
me of this later because I will
You're
not.
going to listen to this.
Right. Bitch, you act like I'm gonna write it in my motherfucking notebook.
You right. Tegan? Who sings that song?
You write while I talk.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Just say reminder. At that bitch. You're not a bitch. I love you. If I call you a bitch, it means I like you. Just so everyone's aware, because I'm a vulgar bitch. Okay. Okay. While you're writing, so
okay.
Since Denver's such a baby, I'm not doing exactly a historical timeline sort of deal like I normally do. Today, I'm going to kind of
and Sarah.
weave the important dates in history into more of a story, along with why Denver is so amazing. Because I'm pretty sure I fell in love with this as I was doing it, like I said.
So I don't like Denver.
I've never been.
It's more like Colorado. Like the
Colorado
research.
show. I love Fort Collins.
Okay,
love Fort Collins.
it was more
You also
like
like Fort Collins.
That's my husband's name. Colin and I literally were like, we're moving here. We loved it. It's like super, super like liberal and delicious.
So it wasn't Denver specifically. It was just like as delicious.
I have a cookie company there that has gluten-free cookies, and they're putting one in downtown McKinney.
Nice.
The only other location is going to be in downtown McKinney.
Yes.
Oh, dude, so as I'm pretty sure she was fishing. The lady, I think it's the lady that told me she was going to cyberstalk me. I think she was fishing today, and she was like talking to me. She's like, "Do you live in McKinney, Texas?" And I'm like, "You're looking for me on Facebook." No, I do not. She's like, "How old are you?" I was like,
You don't need to know that.
Well, that one I answered because it was before I realized she was fishing, because it was like the beginning of the conversation, and then she was like, "Do you live in McKinney, Texas?" I'm like, "You deaf looking on Facebook right now."
Yeah.
Don't. I do not.
How old is she?
Like 58.
Oh, she's just a busybody then.
Yeah.
Oh, she admitted. She's like, I'm a little nosy.
Respect.
Just like anyone tell you. I was like, there's no shame in being curious. It's alright.
Oh, speaking of like Facebook stalking people, so we got a bunch of new people this year, and one of our new people sent out an email, just like a generic email to everyone, like, "Hey, this is the new announcements form." And so she had her little profile picture, but it wasn't the school one, so I knew it was one of the new people. I semi recognized her face, and I knew a person with her first name. I was like, she looks really familiar, so I went and Facebook stalked her, and Mavis is not playing with the door again. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I worked church camp when I was in high school with this girl.
Weird.
Yeah, and now we're working at the same school.
Was she naughty?
No, she's really nice.
Oh.
She's a genuinely nice person.
It's church camp. What do you want from
Was
me?
she naughty?
We were counselors at this church camp, and it was for Chinese students.
Exactly. It's fucking counselors at a church camp.
Speaking of China, we're doing that next week.
Yeah, we are.
Oh.
What's up, Hong Kong?
Haven't started that. Okay. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I have my drink and nothing else.
I'm making sweet and sour pork.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
Monday's not going to work because I have to do, all my research that day.
Oh, I've done no research.
Yeah.
Nope. Back to what we were talking about. No, so it wasn't necessarily Denver specific. It was Colorado as a whole. Anyway, so Denver is called the Mile High City because there's a step, the 13th if I'm not mistaken, on the state capitol building that is 5,280 feet above sea level. And if you didn't know, that is a mile. So
Mavis is ninja mode right now. She has a super wide stance with her back like this. She's like, ha ha!
Yeah, she's attacking Olive. And Olive is lazy, so she plays. No, they're playing.
Yeah.
But Olive lays down to play because she's too lazy to play.
Same, Molly, same.
No, she's smart.
Okay. General William Larimer Jr. founded Denver in November of 1858, and he named it for the governor of the Kansas Territory, James W. Denver, in the hopes that Denver would be picked as the county seat of then Arapahoe County. Unfortunately for him, James Denver had already resigned.
Oh.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah.
That's weird. He's like, hey, bud, I named the city after you.
Well, so he just wanted to be
weird.
the...
Little excessive, buddy.
he wanted to
you
be the
obsessed
county
with me?
seat of Arapahoe County.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Denver was established. No one really lived in that area, but within 30 years, that changed drastically thanks to the gold rush.
Heyo!
Yeah. Colorado.
And I go.
Our weekly Austin Powers Gold member
Oh,
reference.
yes, Salty.
And it's literally always the same one.
It's perfect.
I'm aware.
That movie is perfect.
Beyonce. I'm Foxy Cleopatra. And I'm a whole lot of
And
woman.
Nathan Lane
Yes.
is randomly in it. Guys, Scotty, he named after that movie.
Aw.
I miss him.
Baby Scotter.
Okay, we're gonna move on before you cry. Okay.
Again.
I was being nice and leaving that out. Colorado saw a massive population increase to almost 200,000 people. In the midst of all that growth, we're going to see one of our common themes here again in 1863. Can you guess what happened? Can you?
Gold.
It's not gold, Catherine. It's one of our common themes.
Napoleon.
Aside from Napoleon, that's fair. That's right.
A fire.
Thank you. That's right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Another fire. This one burned most of the business district down to the ground. But the hits just keep on coming.
Napoleon just showed up.
It wasn't fucking Napoleon. I actually didn't find Napoleon at all in this one.
Well, no, it's
I'm
America.
talking about France.
I know.
Napoleon started the fire.
Hey! He probably did, though.
He's like, oh, and he lit the city on fire.
Accurate.
Okay, we're going to talk about Europe in mind, and be ready. We got a lot of tie-ins here.
Okay.
Napoleon started the fire.
Also, sorry, I was laughing into my drink, which was not why it's coffee, but I realized that it made a really weird sound when I did it.
I still like Catherine's very Sebastian from
Thank
The Little
you.
Mermaid.
Oh,
Okay.
they also have, on Uncommon Goods, they have wine glasses that are the major scale.
I have those
I have
marks
them.
for Carrie too, but they're so fucking expensive. Okay, good, because they're so expensive. I literally marked them for you,
But
but I was like,
you fill it up and you go,
Yeah.
"Ooh."
I have 2 of them. My neighbor gave them to me.
Oh no, like the whole major scale, they have that.
See, I have them tiered off, so that way it's a single glass that you can put up to different levels.
Oh, they have that one too. I marked both, but I liked the set because I was like, then she would have a set, but
Yeah.
it's so fucking expensive. So I was like, Carrie, you better be doing something real fucking big to earn this bitch.
I mean, I can.
What? Carrie, I have unlimited resources here. Okay, anyway, there's a flash flood also that came down Cherry Creek the next
That laugh
year,
was super maniacal.
and it killed 20 people.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
And caused $1 million worth of damage.
And that's old-timey 1 million.
Yeah.
So,
That's probably close to $1 billion right there.
Old-timey millions.
oof.
Mm-hmm.
And because apparently the Denverites, and that's what they're apparently called, hadn't had enough yet, not long after that, there was a quote-unquote Indian war during which supply lines and stations were cut so that Denver only had 6 weeks of food left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, when you invade someone's territory, they'll do that.
Yep.
Heard that.
Yeah, I bet you did. That hurt. Sorry, I had to pop my hip because
It's okay.
we're old.
She's pop blocking and dropping it over here.
We really are old. Goddamn.
Fuck. Alright,
I had to Why are we so old?
No, I can't extend my elbows.
Like, dude, this week I was literally like the Hunchback of Notre Dame all week. And it hurt so bad. My back was so fucked up. And I'm like, I didn't even do that much.
Oh, from lifting last weekend?
Apparently,
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Or from sleeping in general. We're so old.
I just slept wrong and it fucked up my back.
Now I can't walk for 6 days. Because my pillow was a little bit to the
Right?
left.
I think it was because I slept on my side and it was like, bitch, nah. Okay. Denverites weren't going to let years upon years of hardships get them down, though. They came out a swinging. The Union Pacific Railroad just skipped over Colorado on the transcontinental route. So the good people of Denver decided to raise the money themselves, about $300,000 worth, to build their own damn railroad
It's
and
like
meet
$3
up.
million in current money.
No. And meet up with the good old UPR in Cheyenne. That's why me. Motherfucking hell.
Colin had to watch for his podcast, shout out, Yelling at the Screen, had to watch Once Upon a Time in the West, which is about building a railroad station. And it was this, Brie watched
The
it.
only good part was the bah, 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 bah.
It was literally the worst movie I've ever seen. And it's Jack's favorite movie. And Jack, you're wrong. And I know Daisy listens, so she can tell you that you're wrong. I texted him and I was like, Jack, this movie was absolute trash. And the only good part was the bitch slap where they had the sound effects that went psh, 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 and it was so slow and like terrible. And like I hate westerns, and like I didn't realize how bad they were. And like normally I can appreciate art for art's sake,
Yeah.
even if I don't relate to it, I can be like, you know, that was interesting.
Yeah.
I see what they were trying to do. I saw it and I said,
I seen it.
Yep.
But I did learn that spaghetti westerns are because they were Italian.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Really? We watched a lot of them in my Italian class because my Italian professor loved them.
Yeah. That was interesting. It was super interesting.
Yeah.
It was trash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The only good part was the slap scene.
The good guy literally has a sexual assault scene.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be like, oh, he's
Yeah.
the good guy. I literally said, Colin, wait, I thought he was the good guy. And Colin goes, I think he might be the good guy.
Yep.
And I was like,
Yep.
not okay with that.
Honestly, and this is what I said that night. I said the only person I liked in this was the medium bad guy, not the bad guy, not the good guy.
The medium bad guy.
He's the
Name
only
Cheyenne.
Yeah, he's the only one who didn't try to rape this female.
Oh.
The only one.
I mean, the good guy, it was like a stage thing, potentially. We don't know.
I didn't get it.
But, like, still.
He, like, ripped off her clothes and, like, pushed her outside.
Oh, not okay.
Well, first he, like, pushed her down on a hay bale and acted like he was going to actually rape her after ripping her tits out. And then he pushed her outside.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I thought he was a good guy.
I'm so serious.
Colin
We had
was
this
like-
conversation.
I think he is. And I was
Yep.
like, what?
Yep.
He can't be the good guy.
Yep.
That's what the bad guy does.
Yeah.
Literally the only
That's
guy
the
I
reason
liked
that they're a
was
bad guy.
the
You
medium
cannot
bad
be
guy.
a good guy if you do that.
No.
And the
Take note, everyone in the world.
Honestly.
Consent.
Oh, we'll talk
Bitch,
about this later.
quit drinking my water.
But the medium bad guy was the one who literally just got a fucking prison.
He just wanted money, so he was just doing things for the money. He didn't.
And then he kind of loved her towards the end, and then
Oh yeah, that's
had to
stupid.
dip. Yeah.
He was like, bye.
I had to take my water
'Cause
away
he
from
died.
Mavis because she kept drinking it.
Yeah. He had to dip because he died. Yeah, that'll do it. That is one place that if you dip, you cannot be undipped.
Nah.
You can't undip from death.
Jesus did.
Oh my god. This is
Jesus came back and he goes, I have undipped my
oh my god. That's gonna be a quote on something. I have undipped.
Bless you, children.
Oh my god, we're making t-shirts with Jesus. Undipped.
Jesus in a Carol Baskin flower.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
But can it be JVN?
Jesus.
Jonathan is Jesus. Just a flower crown. I have been undipped.
And on the third day, he undipped.
I'm getting a cricket now just so I can fucking make this.
My abs hurt.
My lack of abs hurt.
She's got a couple of rolls that are quivering.
That's gonna be a quote on something too.
I'm trying to promote our new sponsors.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We
don't have anything ready yet.
We'll give
so.
them a proper shout out soon. But guys, we got a sponsor.
We
Heyo.
legit.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Also, protein. Go.
Yay! We're super healthy.
We drink wine.
That's our healthy thing. A glass of red wine a day will keep the doctor away, right?
Yeah.
Kate.
Unfortunately, we're not only just having red wine.
They
We're
don't
having
even know
wine.
that. They don't know.
It's more than a glass. It's fine.
We're extra healthy, guys.
We're so healthy.
I am literally the picture of health.
Epitome of health right here.
This is the girl who can't extend her arms because her elbows are so swollen.
This is the girl who you can hear her hip pop
God.
all the way across the room.
Being old stupid.
Yeah.
But we can drink, so.
Hey!
So positive.
As I cheers with my water because I had to take it away from Mavis.
She's looking begrudgingly at your empty fucking coffee
She
bowl.
said, where is it? She likes the fridge water because the new house has fridge water, and even the cat's like, lap of luxury, man.
Yeah, I think this is low enough to where she can't get her head in it.
No.
No.
She has a little head. Mine has a fat head.
Yeah. She has fat everything.
No.
She's losing weight. She's down 2 whole pounds.
Oh, that's so good!
I know.
What a queen!
I know. She's slimming down. My parents were like, she's so fat. And I was like, she's losing weight. You're not going to call me fat, are you? Parents.
Parents. You just got big tits. It doesn't count.
I know.
Okay,
Like, if I took away my boobs, I'd be, like, perfectly healthy.
Cheyenne.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun to edit. 1 part 2 episode.
Let's do that.
We could do that.
Please, because otherwise I'm going to cry.
And we have some good material in here. We could do a part 1 and part 2.
I'm okay with it.
We're already at 50 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
So we'll do a part 1 and part 2.
Yep, I'm good with that. Okay.
Guys, you get the luxury, the absolute pleasure of having a 2-part episode.
Because we don't know how to shut up.
Just pretend we're high.
Also,
Colorado,
I'm really funny tonight, so we're gonna keep it going.
I know, and we're not high. That's the funny thing.
I'm not even drunk. I'm just so tired.
Right.
And school was so stressful this week that
Oh, yeah.
I just like don't care what I'm saying. My filter is broken. I told the kids, one of the kids swore in class today, and they were like, "Sorry, miss, like, I'm still trying to get back into school," and I was like, "Same," and that's all I said, and he just, like, looked at me. He didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't care.
Well, you know, Catherine, if it's not Baroque,
Don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
okay, so Cheyenne. That's Wyoming for those of you who don't know / who haven't
Cheyenne Jackson.
obsessively watched Hell on Wheels like me. Because
You love that show.
I do, mainly because he's daddy as fuck.
Ew.
I've never seen it.
He's so daddy. And he even has, like, towards the end, he has, like, the silvering, like, woo! And it's, like, shoulder length because it's, like, Wild West. We're building the Union
Guys, we're
Pacific
so
Railroad.
old.
He did.
We're like, it's great
Yeah,
hair.
so like Mark Harmon
Oh,
with the silver
I'm
hair.
here for
like
a silver fox. You bitch is here for a silver fox.
Paul Hollywood.
Like, boo you be daddy,
Paul
not call you
Hollywood.
daddy.
Literally, I was like,
Eyes, though.
I know.
Paul
Oh my
Hollywood. I would eat gluten for him.
I would be so many good quotes.
He'd be
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say that's gonna
he'd
be
be
a quote
like,
too.
he'd be like, here's a baguette, and I'd be like, thank you. Paul. Colin wouldn't even be mad.
something.
Colin would be like, oh my god, Paul Hollywood.
Did you get the handshake though?
Only afterwards. Job well done, Paul.
Yes. Oh my god, I love our mutual nerdy like bake loving.
Everyone else is like, who the fuck is Paul Hollywood?
Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
We're talking about Paul Hollywood and what a babe he is.
Yeah. His eyes just like
Oh my
if
God.
nothing else. His
You know his
eyes.
hands are all strong from like
Oh.
kneading.
Kneading. Yes. Ooh, need me any day. I really do like a silver fox. Carrie turned away. Like,
Zach knows. He knows.
I may break my rule and actually call someone daddy if they're a silver fox.
Paul can see my soggy bottom.
Oh my god, I almost fell off the bed right on the nightstand. Oh my god. Guys, I'm not even through my first paragraph in history. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna move on. So, I thought this was fun. I'm literally reading my notes. So we can move on. They did an
Yeah, my case is like 8 hours long.
I'm working on it. They did an
2-part.
interview with historian Dr. Tom Knoll, aka Dr. Colorado, who said to know more about Denver than anyone, and who wrote the book Denver, Mining Camp, and Metropolis. And here's a part of of that interview. So I guess it was by Visit Denver. I have my source somewhere. It'll be in the blog. So,
Hey-o.
it says, as a historian, why is Denver a fascinating place for you? And Dr. Knoll said, Denver is such an unlikely place for a city to be. It began as a little town in the middle of nowhere with no obvious reason to be there. Travel writer Rose Kingsley wrote of Denver in its early stages. So this is why I quoted this, because I love her. It was as if the angels were carrying the city to a proper place and accidentally dropped it here. So Denver was not... Oh, that's the end of her quote. So Denver's not a sure thing. It easily could have died just like so many cities in Colorado. Colorado has more ghost towns today than quote-unquote live towns.
Spooky.
Colorado has about 500 ghost
But
towns.
ghosts.
End of
Ghost
quote
towns.
by Dr. Knoll. So, one, that quote from Rose Kingsley cracks me the fuck up. 2, I found it really interesting that Colorado has so many ghost towns, and it's pretty damn fitting considering what we do. Anyway,
Also has a
moving on.
Stanley Hotel.
I know.
Which I've already talked about. But that's in Colorado.
And I really wanted to go more in depth with it, but I was like, nah.
There are so many haunted hotels.
Yeah. There are a lot of haunted hotels.
Yes.
Which
So
we need to stay in them.
Oh,
yes.
Like, I'm telling you, we're going to have a camper and just travel country.
Oh my god, I have places for us to visit here later, and you guys are going to be so excited.
Yay.
Okay. This is why I don't do my notes until the day of. It's not because I procrastinate,
so excited.
it's so that you guys can't see what I'm writing. That's the real reason. Okay.
I don't walk on.
Yeah, I don't look at your notes.
You just talk to me.
I just, messaged you at the top and you're like, hey, Brie.
Okay.
Which I did that yesterday and you never responded. I'm a little salty.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's fine.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Because I saw a little dark side emblem up there, and the little thing was going there, and...
So, it was probably in my browser, but I wasn't, actually doing it.
But then you, clicked off of it. It made me sad, because I typed in hi, Brie, and it was gone.
Oh, no. So, what I'll do is, I have multiple tabs open at all times, and I always keep...
It's fine. You just don't love me.
She gives me pouty face. No, because I literally didn't fuck with it until today. So,
yeah.
There's that. Okay. So, Denver was witness to some pretty crazy things during this quote-unquote Wild West period. But
Napoleon just showed up out of nowhere.
Smart ass. The only time Napoleon doesn't show up. We give Napoleon more love/hate than Napoleon gave Napoleon.
Now, Napoleon loved himself so much.
Oh, I know, but that obviously leans towards the love side of the love/hate.
Yeah.
I just had to include the hate because we also hate
We
on
give him
Napoleon.
shade.
It's not hate, it's just shade.
Yeah, we shade him.
We shade, we don't hate. Okay.
It's not full-on hate. It's just it's like a little, shoulder.
Yeah.
Napoleon again?
You
Come on.
fucking nuisance, you.
Come on, Napoleon.
God, Napoleon, go back to France.
Conquering shit and whatnot. Okay. So, but don't let that fool you into thinking that it was just a bunch of miners and gunslingers who didn't know their asses from a hole in the ground. I love how you say pew pew as I'm saying their asses from a hole in the ground, and I literally just seeing assholes shooting up from the ground.
Rootin' tootin'.
Just shooting bullets up. What is wrong with that?
Rootin' tootin' buttholes.
Rootin' tootin' buttholes.
Zach ate before, not Colin. Because Colin came in and fell asleep.
Yeah. See, this is why I asked, but it's okay. This is good content. At least it's fucking funny.
It's funny. It's not informational. And honestly, we may be the only one who thinks it's funny, but our 600 listens may think we're funny.
Even though we still have less than 30 listeners.
Yeah, guys, can you please be consistent?
We have so many fucking countries that we're currently, are listening to us. Fucking, Turkey.
Oh,
and, and, Ireland and Switzerland and just, everywhere. It's so amazing. Germany.
Hello, my friends from foreign countries.
Yes, it's amazing. And if I didn't shout you out yet, don't worry, we'll get to you.
We love you.
Love us.
Okay, so, didn't know their asses from a hole in the ground outside of their quote-unquote occupations. I say that with air quotes because some would argue that gunslinging wasn't an occupation. Not a legitimate one anyway. And also, as someone who comes from a factory town where we make dog food, process corn and coal, and have a plant where we dispose of / process the remains of animals, I would also like to note that I in no way look down on miners. Gunslingers are a little more questionable, considering they usually kind of operated outside the kind of confines of the law.
Gunslingers were all just trying to make up for their
lack of policing.
Yeah, their own god complex.
Yeah.
Miners are hardworking people.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm saying. They worked outside the confines of the law. Not that the quote-unquote law back then was any better, but my point is,
a joke.
I respect someone who does honest work no matter their occupation. So anyway, you'd be mistaken if you think that was all.
Mining is still so dangerous.
Yes.
And it's still an occupation.
Yes.
Like literally going down and physically
Yeah.
doing the
Oh,
mining.
yeah.
It's-
Well, that's why I wanted to point out, I am
Yeah.
not in any way discriminating against miners. I recognize that you are hard workers, and
it's brave. You have to be brave.
people just have a set idea of who miners are and that they're not educated or anything like that. So I
blue-collar
wanted
workers. So the
Yeah.
problem is that a lot of blue-collar workers don't get recognition.
Oh, yeah.
And as an academic, I am fully ready to be absolutely hardworking, completely different skill set that is super essential, and you guys are so important.
Well, plumbers and electricians, those are everywhere.
Oh yeah,
And they're shat on.
and plumbers literally cannot function in a society without plumbers and electricians and technicians. Like, we have a friend who's a welder, and, like, he works so hard, and his training was super intense, and he loves his job, and he gets paid really good money, and, like, it's really cool, but, like a lot of, like, tech, like, trades jobs, people are pushing against that now, which is stupid, because these are hardworking, educated people who are working their asses off.
Yeah. And you get paid well. Like, people don't recognize that. Like, people look down on my town because it's a fashion town.
My hairdresser makes more money than I do.
Yeah.
And she works her ass off and works long hours and does a really good job and markets herself and went to school for it. And I don't get why.
Because people are dumb.
Yeah.
And we're cheap.
And, like, and I love school. Like, I love going to school. I would be working on my PhD right now if I could. But I understand that there's so many options, and you should just do whatever you like.
Yeah.
And if you can make money doing it, better for you.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Okay.
That was my public service announcement.
Yeah, no, I'm good, because I just wanted to acknowledge that. Yeah. Well, and I almost ended that with, like, this is my public service announcement for this. So Denver is known for having the second highest educated population in the U.S.
Interesting.
And not only are Denver's people seen as intelligent, they're also big on culture and the arts. Because as the educated know, there are also important factors in education in creating well-rounded human beings who are able to apply these things in other quote-unquote standard areas of education. That's a jab at the education system. Save the arts and not just band. Insert eye roll.
Yep.
So, anyway, back to Denver being cultured. The Denver.org website claimed that Denver had a performance of Macbeth before it even had a hospital or a school back in the time of the Old West. And now, Denver's performing arts complex, comprised of a total of 9 theaters, is second only to the Lincoln Center in New York, with seating for up to 10,000 people.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, and of course, with places like Red Rocks Park and Amphitheatre,
beautiful.
It isn't hard to imagine why.
Yeah.
There's actually a sales tax for the arts, self-imposed within the 7-county metro area, mind you, that's distributed to 300 different facilities and organizations involved in the arts, and it raises up to $40 million a year.
That's amazing. That's how, amazing. Like, a lot of European countries do it. The art gets taxes to help pay for their technicians and their actors and their directors, and to keep facilities up so that it doesn't all fall on the burden of the people who work there, because a lot of times, like, technicians and actors get paid less because money has to go to the building, and they're working jobs just like everyone else, and yeah, it's a whole thing.
That's where I started to fall in love with Colorado. I was like, yes.
Well, Colorado also has, like, Grand Lake has a regional theater that trains Broadway people. Breckenridge, which is literally one street up in the mountains, and it's literally perfect, and I love it. They have a theater that does, like, excellent productions. And, like, they have like, they're so small, and, like, that's part of their charm, is that it is a ski town. You ski, and that's what you do, right? They only have, like, a handful of restaurants. There's no grocery store. Like, gorgeous. And they have a whole regional theater. Like, it's important there. Every town we went to had a theater in it, which is really cool. And the Colorado Shakespeare Festival is one of the biggest in the world.
Well, there's a lot of, like, opera. Well, okay, it's like pay to sings, which... is dumb for professionals to have to do pay to sings. But that's what they are. And, but yeah, there's an opera one up in, I think, Taos.
Taos is in New Mexico.
Is it New Mexico? Mountains.
Yeah.
Worth the arts.
I only know that because my sisters went to cross-country camp there for high altitude training.
Oh, that's right. I think I knew that.
Yeah. But it's, like, super
But I feel like there are some in
Colorado.
Oh, probably. I can't think of it.
Yeah. There's a
All
lot
I can think of
of
is Taos right now. Because I had a couple friends go there, which I never went because they're like $5,000, and sorry, I don't have $5,000 to drop on a summer camp.
Yeah.
Where you have to pay more money to buy the dress and, like, survive while you're there. Yeah.
Well, talking about the mountains, not to be outdone, the landscape is also breathtaking.
Oh my gosh,
with
gorgeous.
300 days of sunshine a year and 200 named mountain peaks visible from Denton.
Nope. Not in
Denver.
There you go.
Not to mention the 200 plus parks in Denver itself and 20,000 acres of parks in the mountains close by. What's not to fall in love with, honestly. Denver plants more than 200,000 flowers over a number of select flower gardens each year, and even has its own buffalo herd. Speaking of Buffalo, Buffalo Bill's grave sits at the top of Lookout
Buffalo
Mountain.
or bison?
It says Buffalo. It said Buffalo. And it was the Denver.org site.
Okay.
They're just not in the wild. We have them captive.
Okay.
I think.
I thought they were, like, extinct. Like, we, like, literally killed them all.
Wild ones did for sure.
But were we keeping them captive at that point?
Some of them. Because, like, there's buffalo, like, buffalo meat you can still buy. Mm-hmm. And buffalo mozzarella, which is delicious.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we have buffalo up in my area.
Okay.
I think. Or maybe it was a road trip, and I just forgot.
But I just know that they're, like, on farms now, like cows.
Yeah.
They're, like, domesticated.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there'll be a bit more on Buffalo Bill later.
I just knew white people are terrible.
Honestly.
Yeah.
We kill everything.
Yup. On top of everything else, Denver is also big on fresh local ingredients.
Yay.
And there are a ton of wineries, distilleries, and breweries opening up all the time.
I had one of the best ice creams there.
I just need to move here.
It was so good.
Ugh.
We're going to have our podcast studio up there.
Yay, please. Oh, yeah, we talked about this, and I get to wear cute sweaters and over-the-knee socks.
I love Colorado.
Yay!
Colin and I would move there if we could afford it.
Right?
We'll just have a little, like, shared house between all of us.
Yeah.
I'm down. Our co-op.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, fun facts. It's the home of the cheeseburger.
Yum.
Yep, there was more information on that man, and I'm sorry I didn't include it.
You couldn't have told me that?
I
would have made
found
cheeseburgers.
I just found out today, Catherine.
Oh my god.
So Elvis took a private jet to Denver for a sandwich once. He was telling his friends about this massive, amazing sandwich he'd had once in Colorado. So he just casually decided to take them there so they could try it for themselves rather than explain it to them.
Fair.
So I'm just going to quote the article. Awaiting Elvis and his crew in a special hangar at the Stapleton Airport was champagne, sparkling water, and 22 fool's gold loaves on silver trays. Now, the fool's gold sandwich isn't just your run-of-the-mill hoagie. It's an entire hollowed-out loaf of Italian bread, filled with a jar of jelly, a jar of creamy peanut butter, and 1 pound of fried bacon. The creation is then deep-fried and served to whichever guest wants a heart attack next, which is ironic.
I need
Just
it.
a little bit. I know it wasn't a heart attack, but I mean...
Yeah, he died pretty soon.
Elvis and his crew began eating at 1:40 a.m. and didn't finish eating until nearly 2 hours later, at which point they promptly hopped back aboard the Lisa Marie and returned home to Graceland.
Bruh. Must be nice.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
So
Also, I did have to look it up because it was going to bother me if I didn't know.
What?
So the American buffalo
Oh.
is literally bison.
Uh-huh.
So they're the same thing. I thought they were like...
No, they're the same species.
Yeah, but there are 200,000 in the States.
Because white people fucked that up.
Yep. Well, okay, I wonder if it's a regional thing to call them bison versus buffalo, because like in
I
Kentucky,
think it might be.
we call them bison.
I think it might be, because when you said that I was confused, because I was like, aren't they the same thing? But I didn't want to sound dumb.
You know, I call them buffaloes.
Yeah. Where we're from, they're called buffaloes, because there's a reference to Buffalo Bill. Like, there's literally a sign. But, yeah, I think it might be a regional thing, like you said.
But there were 30 million.
Oh, like I said, white people.
They almost killed them all out.
Yeah.
And now we're only back up to 200,000.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So while we're on the topic of food, again,
Sorry.
you're good. There's a fucking restaurant that used to be a mortuary, and we're fucking going.
Amazing.
Okay, so this was an Atlas Obscura article that I found titled Linger Eatery, with the line, quote, once a mortuary that held the remains of Buffalo Bill, this Denver hotspot is now a death-fixated restaurant, end quote.
We're going.
1, it was fucking made for us. 2, I told you I'd be bringing you back to Buffalo Bill.
Yep.
Bruh. What if they have a buffalo burger?
I know,
Hercules
buffaloes are
mother
really
is up in
lean.
it.
I've had...
Yeah.
Buffalo's really lean meat, and buffalo mozzarella is absolutely my favorite.
But, like, what if they have a buffalo burger, though? Because they used to have the body of Buffalo Bill!
That would be good. They're missing an opportunity if they don't.
I know. So, in the article, they say the restaurant is, quote, as open as a fresh grave about the building's history, end quote.
Oh my gosh.
And I love everything about this. Also, the sign looks like it says Olinger Meatuaries by day, but when it's lit up at night, it just looks like it says linger eateries because the O and the M aren't lit up, and I think that's kind of just perfect. I loved everything about this, and I was so excited to share it. I'm probably going to put that picture on the blog because it just makes me so happy. It's so perfect. Okay. So the Capitol building is actually one of a kind, and not because of the 24 fucking karat gold plated dome.
Oh, you know.
Oh, that's some Italian shit right there.
Yeah, it is. Inside the Capitol building, a precious stone called Colorado Rose Onyx was used to construct the interior. This special onyx comes from a quarry in Beulah, Colorado, and nowhere else. And they used it all. Beulah.
They used it all?
Used it all. Literally, the article said that the entire world's supply was used in the interior of this building. So, it is the only place in the whole world that anyone can see this stone.
Damn.
That's cool.
It is cool, but also...
rude.
Like, damn, bitches. You selfish.
Yeah.
Okay. Denver International Airport is one of the biggest airports in the nation.
I love how you always talk about the airports.
Because I've been in so many motherfucking airports.
Their airport looks like tents.
Tents?
Yeah, it's like canvas, like the ceilings.
Oh, okay. Well, it's huge. It's 53 square miles of terminals, hangars, and runways.
I got into a fight with the security guard at the Denver airport.
Of course.
About what?
Did.
My ID.
What
Was
is
it
about your
expired,
ID?
No, I couldn't find it. And I was like, here's my student ID. And I was like, can I step over here and find it? She started yelling at me. She's like, I'm going to call security on you. I'm like, bitch.
I'm trying to find my ID.
And I literally was like, excuse me. And then she didn't like my attitude. But I was like, I'm fucking finding it. So I don't know what you want me to do.
The top 4 airports based on air traffic. Also, I didn't notice that I always talk about the airport. But it's because I've always been to fucking airports. Yeah. Based on air traffic, some, if not all of which, we've already talked about, as Gary's pointed out.
Uh-huh.
Los Angeles International, O'Hare International, Dallas-Fort Worth International, and Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International airports. And I know we've talked about at least 3 of those. Can all fit within the borders of the Denver airport. So that's a big-ass motherfucking airport.
It's huge.
Yeah. There's also
there's cranky gate people.
There's also apparently a cursed big old blue Mustang sculpture with fiery red eyes referred to as Blucifer. That's amazing! I know! I was like, this is fantastic. Lucifer! Yes, because he's blue! Yeah, and he has fiery red eyes. And apparently he's cursed. So... he greets travelers as they land at the airport. The story goes that Luis Jimenez, the sculptor, was killed in a freak accident while he was making quote-unquote Blucifer, who weighs a whopping 9,000 pounds, by the way. When a part of the statue fell on one of his legs and severed an artery. And on that uplifting note, let's move on to lore.
Oh, boy.
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Woo. Okay, so Carrie, you're going to love this. There's a distillery called Mythology Distillery, and their tagline sort of deal is quote-unquote... Tag. Their tagline sort of deal is quote-unquote, discover your spirit animal.
I fucking love that.
So their labels have pictures of half a human's face and half of an animal's face, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I was like, I love this. Okay.
I need it.
So
if you're in Denver, send me some.
Right?
Please.
I have the website. I'm going to put the link in the blog.
Message me on something, and I'll have you send it to a place.
That's really specific.
Right?
Well, I don't want to pinpoint myself.
Message us on our social media. And I forgot all of them.
So we can buy a P.O. box.
Yeah, that sponsor us so we can get a fucking P.O. box.
Honestly, though, guys. And like our LLC, though.
Like, we could use some money, so like, just give that to us.
We got $4.15, guys.
Woo! Professional.
And that's $4.15, not $400.50.
Fuck, if it was $415, we could afford our LLC.
Yeah. Right. No, we're rocking out a solid $4 whole right now.
Yeah. Okay, so there was an article that referred to them as the Coloradodies, which I loved.
There's some really good puns.
I was so excited about all of this. Okay, so in 1540, Spanish conquistador Coronado left Mexico to look for the 7 golden cities of Cibola.
El Dorado.
Not El Dorado.
The magnificent.
Coronado.
And golden.
Like the high
school. Guys, that movie is so good. The Road to El Dorado, A+.
It is good.
But Native Americans wanted none of their shit, knowing damn well the problems they brought with them. So they encouraged the conquistadors to move on, telling them that the golden cities were really far away.
A+. Good move, guys.
Right. They, of course, never found them.
Well, no, they didn't exist.
So, quote, in a state founded on a gamble for gold, get-rich-quick gurus have thrived on gullible greenhorns.
Yeah.
I just love that
Gullible,
line. So, Jefferson Randolph Soapy Smith.
She's struggling, right? It's not just me, because I made fun of her and no one laughed. So I think she may be struggling.
I am.
You good, girl?
They sold them soap at $1 a bar with assurances that $100 bills lay hidden in many a wrapper. Soapy earned the title King of all the Western Conmen, bringing Colorado notoriety for its gullible residents.
His name literally was Soapy?
It was his nickname.
Dear God.
It was Jefferson Randolph Smith, but his nickname was Soapy.
So I think people in Denver just really like nicknames, because I got a lot in my story, too.
Why do they all have nicknames?
I got all the nicknames.
Cribbly crap, as Colin would say.
Literally, my whole story is a nickname. Like, the title of my story isn't her real name.
There was also the Solid Muldoon hoax, which that name was given to a supposedly petrified man exhumed in 1877.
Oh, boy.
There was the Balloon Boy hoax in Fort Collins in 2009.
I love Fort Collins.
The Heen family told the media, not the police, that their 6-year-old son, Falcon,
Oh, my God.
accidentally was launched in, like, a helium weather balloon that was, like, tethered in their backyard. And, like,
oh, my gosh.
the world soaked this shit up on TV and radio for, like, hours.
Scary. And the kid was, like, giggling under the bed.
As this shit, like, drifted toward Denver International Airport.
Oh, boy.
And at first, on a thing I read, they were like, oh, it's a UFO. And, like, nope.
Amazing.
It's
No,
this.
it's a child.
So...
It's Russell from Up.
The airport shut down flights. National Guard helicopters went up in rescue attempts.
Oh, no.
Like, multi-million-dollar search and rescue efforts. It landed in a farmer's field, like, 15 miles northeast of the airport. And the rescue crews...
It's a plane. It's a fake child on a
ran
balloon.
to the balloon, but there was no kid inside. And he was hiding, they discovered later,
Under the bed.
in a Hollywood acting school... And wait, no. Found hiding. No, in his parents' attic. And the press discovered that he long dreamed of television immortality.
So the parents were like, let's put this bitch in a balloon, but not really.
Yeah. So
Cool.
Alfred Packer, I can't read.
Packer?
Most
Pecker?
celebrated cannibal in Colorado.
Oh.
In 1873, he agreed to lead 5 gold seekers into the San Juan Mountains despite the approaching winter weather.
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard this story.
Yeah, I have too.
Noms.
Spring comes round, and he came out alone from the still frozen country.
I think I listened to that on my way over to one time. I was listening to it when I ran to Sarah.
They slowly found the gnawed corpses of the travelers.
Yeah.
They tried him for murder because cannibalism isn't a crime. And the judge sentenced him to hang supposedly with the words, quote, Alfred Packer, you man-eating son of a bitch. There was only 7 Democrats in Hinsdale County and you ate 5 of them. Yes! Right? Isn't this fucking gold?
Prospectus.
I didn't mean to make that joke.
That's amazing.
But you did.
But, like, so if someone dies and you eat them, like, I kind of get it, right? Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, like,
But don't
killing
kill
someone
them.
to eat them, he did not need to eat 5 corpses worth of food. That is too many people to kill.
Yeah.
Apparently he thought he did.
Like, and he, like, showed back up.
Well, and so here's the thing. They found gnawed remains, and from what it sounded like, they said corpses, not just, like, bones and shit. So, like, obviously he
eat all of
didn't... Like, obviously he
Rude.
didn't need to kill 5 people to eat them because
If
there
you
were still
kill me to
bits
eat
left.
me, you better eat all of me.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me of Hannibal in the first season when they talk about, like, honoring, like, the whole...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hannibal is such a weird show.
But it's so good.
It's beautiful, but
I'm
I have
so
weird
obsessed.
nightmares.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
I just don't dream anymore.
Kind of that, too. I only dream if it's, like, a nightmare.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
dream
shitty.
it's over.
Nope.
That's the words.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was singing a song. I wasn't talking.
I got... Okay.
From what, though?
Yeah.
Don't dream it's over. It's a song. It is.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying I don't know what the
You
fuck
don't believe me.
Okay, sure. Guys, I'm pretty sure there were people called Crested Butt in this article,
It's
and they were
cute.
mentioned in relation to the creation of two-story outhouses.
cute.
I don't give a fuck we're calling them Crested Butt. But because they made two-story outhouses.
Why would you make a two-story outhouse? Where does the shit from the top of it go?
Exactly.
No, outhouses do not have pipes by the nature of outhouses.
There was a certain way they did it, so apparently you weren't like shitting on the person below you's head, but I was just like, first of all, Crested Butt and two-story outhouse, like, yeah. Okay, so there was the Headless Hatchet Lady of Red Rocks.
Oh, boy!
Me too.
Apparently she would ride horseback with her coat pulled over her head, brandishing a bloody hatchet.
Like, I didn't do my hair.
She would scare the shit out of teenage couples who would
Same.
go to Red Rocks Park and
So pretty.
explore the park and each other.
Oh.
Ew.
So it originated with Mrs. Johnson, who homesteaded nearby. She was really concerned about her daughter's reputations, and they said if she found a guy messing with one of her daughters, she would chop off quote-unquote offending body parts. And that's why the rocks are red at Red Rocks.
What a mom. That's an A+
Right?
mom move.
Okay, so Mike the Headless Chicken and Fruita. So Lloyd Olson was a farmer, and he chopped Mike's head off while butchering chickens
I heard
in
this story
1945.
If you name a chicken, you cannot chop its head off.
Okay, but like Mike, yeah, he lived the next day, and so he became
survived
sensationalized and was like a fucking sideshow.
Mike.
And it was apparently because they called him Miracle Mike the Headless Chicken. And so the farmer kept him alive by using an eyedropper to give him water and like ground grain down his esophagus. Mm-hmm. And so the scientists looked at Mike and they decided that he could live because his brainstem was still connected to the spinal cord and his windpipe and throat were still intact. And so the farmer used him, like I said, as a sideshow, and it allowed him to pay off his mortgage,
Was he still feeling
buy feed
pain?
for Mike, and purchase a pickup truck.
Probably not.
Mike lived for 18 months after the fact.
If he wasn't in pain, poor Mike. It makes me really sad.
I wondered if it would. He lived, though.
But if he was in
When
pain,
otherwise he would have died. I know. I hope he wasn't in pain.
There are pictures.
if he didn't
Of
have
Headless
his
Mike?
brain,
I know. I saw someone poking the nub.
Don't poke Mike's.
That's the one I saw. They literally are poking the nub.
Mike.
Unnamed person.
And it has like the little dropper picture.
I'm glad his dad kept feeding him and giving him water,
Oh no,
though.
my computer's dying.
Oh no.
Okay, I gotta make this quick.
Just like Mike.
Living dinosaurs. A woman said she'd seen living dinosaurs. When she was 3, she saw 5 baby dinosaurs. They attacked a local farmer's sheep, apparently, and the farmer shot one.
All right, honey, that was
It
not
was
a dinosaur.
7 feet tall, had a head like a snake. It was gray. It had short front legs with claws like chicken feet, and big, like, stout back legs and a long tail.
Homegirl watched Land Before Time and was like,
Okay, but dead ass, when I was little, we found a supposedly toy dinosaur, and I swear to God that fucker came alive and bit me.
okay, Bree,
Fuck
you
off.
have a lot of childhood trauma, and that
You're
clearly
not
is a
wrong.
manifestation of it.
Okay, well, fuck off, but you're not wrong. I don't know about the manifestation, but...
Your toy dinosaur was not alive.
well, it bit me, so...
Oh my god.
So there was the Slide Rock Bolter. In the 1800s,
These names are killing me.
the miners and the lumberjacks would come out of the mountains with tales of a quote-unquote land will that lived on the slopes and fed off any animal that wandered in front of it, especially people. So it would lurk around at the tops of mountains waiting for days without moving, and apparently it latched itself onto the mountainside with hooks on the end of its massive, like, fluked tail.
Cool.
And so it would release the hooks when the prey came by and slide down the slope,
And just like,
tearing through like boulders and trees, and then it would swaller.
Swaller.
Oh my
Welcome to Kentucky, where we say swaller.
god! On my grandmother, it would swallow Like,
So it was a landslide.
with its huge sawtoothed mouth.
So landslide.
Yeah.
Sure.
I took this love and I took it down.
Okay.
My namesake now.
There were vampires.
Hey-o.
In 2010, a woman drove her SUV into a canal. She said it was because there was a vampire, and
Homegirl read too many Twilights.
she saw it on the road. She was scared shitless, and she threw it in reverse, Terry, and drove it off the road and like flipped that fucker. And
Yikes.
the cop said she wasn't under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So that's not the first report, though. In the
She's
late
sleepy.
1800s and early 1900s, in the mining town of Lafayette.
Lafayette!
Hey!
And I'm gonna step into get a chapter Lafayette, watching them, engaging them, arranging them or something in the Lafayette.
Okay, I gotta hurry before my computer dies.
Ah!
Okay, so it attracted workers from eastern United States and Europe, and one of the workers was Fodor Glava from Transylvania, the Lafayette vampire. When he died, when he died in 1918, there were rumors that started that he was a vampire because a tree sprouted from his grave on what would be the chest region, and people were convinced that it grew from a stake driven into his heart. And the curator of the Lafayette Miners Museum told the news that a blood red bush that grows next to the grave didn't help.
Make the red coats wear the blood stains.
Hey!
He's like, I'm gonna just grow this motherfucking tree from the stake in my heart.
Right. Like a boss says, bitch!
Yep.
Okay, now we have... I need to hurry this shit along. Where are my notes? Oh no, don't die! Don't die! Tommy knockers! They have Tommy knockers! Stephen
I got some
King!
Tommy knockers.
And my computer's dying!
What the heck is a Tommy knocker?
Not boobs.
Not boobs. No.
I didn't think that's what
Why
they
is
were.
it doing this? It's dying. Well, I can't tell you what it is in their lore because my shit's dying and I don't remember. And they also have the Denver Science Museum Mythic Creatures exhibit. And some people put up a fuss about this because they're like, not actual science. And they're like, but it impacted our history and what people believed and like what we currently believe.
Like cryptozoology.
Yeah.
It's history.
Yeah.
It's not science, but it is history.
Yeah. So, but they have like fucking unicorns and the dragons have their own exhibit.
I mean,
The dragons have their own exhibit. But like unicorns and dragons and like phoenixes and all this other shit. And then, so the last one, because my computer's dying, the New World Order at Denver International Airport.
Oh.
So
I
there are
really
a
love
bunch
the airport.
there are a bunch of creepy ass paintings in the airport and they're very like apocalyptic.
They're super weird.
And so people are like, is it like a sign of the New World Order? It's like very like Nazi, blah, blah, blah. There's this one painting with like this soldier with a mask on and he has like a fucking, like, not machete, but like, what's a curved sword?
A sickle?
A katana?
It's not a katana.
Is it a sword or like a farming tool?
No, it's a sword. But
Okay,
it's like, not Middle Eastern, but
Yeah.
I think they have it in
Oh,
the
like the
Mummy
Mongols?
movies.
Oh, yeah.
The Mongol swords?
I think so. It's kind of curved a little bit with like the...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And like a gun, like a
Oh.
rifle or some shit. And he's standing over a bunch of sleeping children.
Oh.
And like other pictures have like fires in the rainforest and like extinct animals in glass cases and like a dead child in a coffin and like a dead leopard or some shit.
That's not okay.
Yeah. So it's very creepy. And there's also people say that the runways are shaped like swastikas.
Oh, shit.
And that there might be a secret subterranean command bunker.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's all I got. My computer died, and go check out the Tommy Knockers. I'll put the link on the blog, because also Tommy Knockers by Stephen King, because Stephen King, fucking amazing.
Yeah. Got my namesake going there. Yeah, so this is going to be the end of part 1. Tune in to part 2.
Follow us on Instagram at Darkside Tour Guides and on Twitter at Darkside Guides. Give us a like on Facebook at Darkside Tour Guides. Visit the blog at darksidetourguide.wordpress.com or email us at darksidetourguides@gmail.com.